Wub. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today's video is going to be about a topic that is actually very interesting, and I hope this video is helpful. Now, it was requested by a fellow commenter in my YouTube. I do believe this is how you pronounce your name. Askia. Now, oh, good news. I found my birthday clip. Also, thank you so much for asking these questions. I found it very interesting, and I am really glad that I can answer them. Thank you for asking them, Askia. Now, her question was about patience. Now, she used the Arabic word Sabr. Now, Sabr translates to, let's search it up, shall we? Just to be sure, because I did search it up. Yeah, patience. That's what it means. I don't know why I had to do that when I knew the meaning of it. Anywho, just to be sure, right? Now, one of her questions was, why is patience so important in this life? That's a very good question. Why is it so important? Well, it's very fundamental, because it's really truly what holds our faith to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allow me to elaborate. You see, when, let's say, we want something, we think we know when we want it, but the thing is, that may not be the best time, but you do not know that. You make your dua and then you wait, and let's say months happen, years happen, and you don't see anything. So then you begin to feel impatient, and you're like, what's happening here? And that's not very good. I do not recommend you to do that. This is why patience is so important, because you think you know that time that is the best for you to have this certain thing, or to be offered this certain thing, but in reality, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the best time. Now, this is called divine timing. That's what I call it, divine timing. Everything that is meant for you, whether you requested it or you did not even requested it. Sometimes we do not request things, we do not make dua, sometimes we do not ask for things, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already in our plan to give it to us, but He gives it to us at the best time. You see how generous He is. I do believe Al-Karim, He's so generous, because He's going to give that thing that you desire, but He's gonna give it to you at the best time too. So it's like not one but two, like that's two rewards right there. You see, that's very beautiful. So why is patience so important? Well, patience makes you a believer. So you have trust in Allah, you make dua, and you ask Him for this, and then you have patience, because you know, oh, I made dua, but I know my God, my Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it to me when He decides to give it to me, because we are living by His mercy and will. That's it. That right there is so important, because that means you trust Him, and He wants you to trust Him. That is how you show love, you know? This is how humans show love. When you trust somebody, do you not love them? You do. So it's a very fun, it's a very beautiful way to show that you love Him and you trust Him. And patience is just trust and love combined into a little ball. That's what it is, basically. Now, why is it so difficult? Well, patience may be difficult because sometimes we get impatient due to a certain situation that we're in. Maybe we're facing an adversity, and we just want to get out. We want to stop the suffering. But you have to understand that with the suffering comes the ease. So even if you're suffering, even though you're going through something that is so heartbreaking, that is so you know, it gives you anxiety, it causes you stress, it causes you to not fall asleep at night. It's something that's so sad that it's just a huge burden in your heart and your shoulders and your mind. This is why it's so important to have patience in those times. That again shows that even though you're facing even one of the most horrible things that you have faced, hunger, thirst, you have no shelter, somebody has died in your family, you still go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you make dua, and then you tell him how you feel, because it's very important. You must tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala how you feel. Now he knows how you feel, but when you vocalize it, oh man, that's beautiful right there. Tears coming down. It's very beautiful. It's as if you're speaking to him. Yeah, he's always listening, but it's as if you're speaking to him. So so when you have patience in these moments, but that's like you're telling him that you're strong and that you are worth the reward. You are worth it. All right, you are worth it. You are a person of faith. All right, that's beautiful. That's how you show your faith. That's how you display it to the world, you know. But not really just display it, but you know, this is how you show him your faith, your love, and your trust. So that's why it's important, and it's difficult for us because we just get so overwhelmed. We're human. We get so overwhelmed by the tiniest things. We get upset and sad, and we want to throw rocks or something, and we just want to like slam the door, but that's not the best way to really get rid of that, is it? Patience is. Because with patience, then you won't make any error. Howsoever, if you're mad, you won't make an error. You're patient. If you're sad, you will not make an error, make a mistake because you were sad. No, you were patient. Being patient helps you stay away from doing things that will get you in trouble. Because let's say you and now maybe it wasn't intentional, but then later on you will come to regret it. And you would say, oh, why did I do that? I was just upset. You let your emotions get the best of you. You see, in Islam, it's very important for us to dominate our emotions. Because while emotions are a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and actually, as a matter of fact, I love crying. I love crying. I love feeling frustrated. I'm thankful to him, you know. I am thankful to my Lord because he made me human. He made me with emotions. And when I feel I am human, it's a reminder. So now what was I saying? You must dominate these feelings, because once you let them dominate you, yeah, I got caught off. Rude. Also, please, the lighting in my room today is just not the vibes. That's okay. Now, what was I saying was, see, I don't even remember what I was saying because I got caught off. Not good. Right, and then the other question she asked, what is the purpose of patience? The purpose of patience, to put it simple, is to show how strong you can be, how much faith you actually have. That is the purpose of patience. Of patience. That's the purpose of it. The purpose of patience, I just spit, is to see if you are a true believer. A true believer, no matter what has been put upon that person, and will always remain patient, because they will know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide. That's the purpose of it. The purpose of patience is not to it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. A lot of people often find themselves in situations where, you know, they could have reacted in a horrible manner. As a matter of fact, I'll give an example. Long time ago, when I was little, I was watching TV, and this this video came in the news. It was the news talking about how a family, I think it was a boy. It was the boy of a Muslim family, got murdered by this other boy, and in the court, watch this, hear this. In the court, the family of the boy decided to forgive the murderer of their son. Like, that right there, when I was little, I said, what? Because I was little. I was like, what? I was like 12 when I saw this. I was like, what? I was like, ain't no way they did that. But now I understand why. Because they're true believers. Their son got murdered in cold blood, and they decided to forgive the one who killed their son. And then I do believe they said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a plan for us. In that moment, I actually, because I was a Muslim at that time, in that moment I actually gained so much respect for Islam. I said, what? I don't think I was like, I don't think anybody would have reacted that way. You see that patience that they had? They faced an adversity that nobody wants to face, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us and protect us from facing such adversity. They had patience and they forgave and they said, no, it's fine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide, and He is the best judge. Ooh, that right there, I was like, it broke me. Actually, as a matter of fact, it broke me when I was through. It broke me. I was like, because I was like, because I want to be a mother, right? So I was like, if they killed my son, I will be raging. I was little. I was not very smart. Come on now, guys. But now I understand. That right there, in that moment, I was like, they onto something. But getting back on topic, I hope that family was blessed with abundance and so many blessings that even they cannot imagine. Because that right there, that is truly the faith of a believer. That right there in that moment. And the other question is why do people need patience? Well, patience is so fundamental to humanity, because without patience, without patience, wouldn't we go all mad? Wouldn't we all go angry, sad, and crazy? With all the things happening in the world, without patience, humanity would be gone. Everybody would kill each other. Everybody would start cursing at each other. Everybody would be so mean to each other. Patience right there is so important because it keeps us sane. It keeps us happy. It keeps us away from sin, basically. So this is why it's very, very important, and that why we need it. So does it bound us or liberate us? That's a very good question. It liberates us. Oh yes, it liberates us. Do not ever think those who say, "Oh, you're patient." I would have acted differently in that situation. To ever listen to those folks? They don't know what they're talking about. Those who were patient were the winners. Why? Because when you are patient, perhaps what rewards you may not be life. That's okay. But you know who rewards you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that right there, that's it. That's all the reward that you need. That's the only thing that you need in this life. You don't need anybody, nothing. Only the approval of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. That's it. So this is why it liberates us. It liberates us from this life. It liberates us from the things that can cause us harm. Because in this life, you don't have patience, you might get into a fight, boom, you're dead. That's crazy right there. But if you were patient, Sorry, I thought I saw a cat. If you were patient, you wouldn't have gotten into a fight. You would have been the better person. You would have said, no, that right there, that's not me. I'm a believer. I don't do that stuff. Whoa, right there, that's beautiful. And I hope I'm explaining really good. I'm not very good at explaining. I just had coffee right now, so I'm kind of like. So yes, it liberates us though. It truly frees us, because when we are not patient, we let the emotions get the best of us. And when the emotions get the best of us, it's the emotion controlling us, not us controlling the emotions. So why is it so high in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Why? Well, just because it's a hard thing for humans to do. So when a human does it, it's beautiful. Oh, my tablet just died. And I don't remember the questions. Sorry. I might do a part 2 of this, okay? I'm so sorry. I should have like written them down. But yes, this is why it's so it's I wouldn't say admired, but it's so high in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we are humans, and for us to dominate our emotions is a very hard thing. It's very, very hard thing for us to do. And it takes time. But this is the beauty of it. even if you're trying, that right there counts as so much. Because let's say you were not even trying. Are you a really true believer? A true believer will try not to be perfect, but to be the best of themselves, the best version of themselves. Because, as a matter of fact, we all can. We just choose not to. So choose to be the better person. Choose to have patience even in the moments where life throws things at you that you just, man, you just want to cry. I'll tell you a little story before I go. When I was little, coming to this country, I was 8 years old. And me, my sister, my brothers, and my father were the only ones that were coming to this country. My mother wasn't. Now, we weren't coming here illegally. No, we were coming here legally, by the way, just letting you know. But my mother, she didn't have papers, so, you know, we were the only ones who had papers to come to this country. So we left her, and man, that was really hard, you know. And as a little girl, I would often cry. I would often cry silently because I was afraid that my sister would hear me because we were sleeping in the same bed. And but you know, that little girl, now I look back at her, she was so patient, you know, because the teachers would ask me, you know, about, you know, they would ask me because I was just learning English and stuff, and they would ask me about, oh, where's your mom and stuff like that, and I would just be like, oh, she's in my country, but she'll come. Alhamdulillah. And also, like, you know, so I had a lot of patience as a child. While I was sad, I always had that in me, you know, even if it was small, that my mother was gonna come to this country. And alhamdulillah, subhanallah, she came. 2015, my mother was in this country. Patience is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not ever think otherwise. I just cried right there. That's beautiful, you see that? I love tears, they're beautiful. And another thing, also another little story of it. As I was learning English, I was having a little difficulty, you know. Of course, it's not my first language. Spanish is. So the teacher would teach me, and she would be like, "Are you okay with doing this homework?" And I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I will learn it." I said, "I will learn it. It's just a language." This is what I said. It's just a language. I'll learn it. Wallahi, what am I speaking right now? Wallahi, you see that? Like everything that you do, give it time. Don't rush things. Have patience. Everything will fall into its place. Everything. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan. And do not ever think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not with the patient. Why He loves the patient. Thank you.